joints right here, man, that you play when you feeling down on your ism, right? Play this shit right here and resuscitate your pimping and get you right back on your mission, right? For you hoes, just that shit you play when you ain't feeling like super hoe today. Play this shit right here and spark up your hoeing and get you right back going, you dig? Dig this. Pimps for real, don't mistake it for fashion. The turf that birthed my reputation for mashing was the track with active, attractive hoes. Professional goers that attract the dough. Like magnets to metal, never settle. We scorching them fag bitches pedal for them portions. My whores win it all. Not the ones on the sideline wishing but didn't ball in the guidelines. My bitches did it all. Down 7 below in the snow for dough. Over 120 in the sun for fun. They mash for hours, hooker baths, not showers. Bright and early, down and dirty for the cash and power. They gotta get the cash, the towers, and reach it all to a pimp. In my position, I'm all but exempt. These bras not wimps, I'm like them renegade bitches. BFFs with tricks but never getting paid riches. Grenade bitches, they dynamite, blowing up on the pimpin' and missing when the time is right. But when they life gets strife, they see pimpin' shining bright, but they action is life without. Bitch, one strike you out. Can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga. See, that's the difference, nigga. The pimpin' mashin' for these riches, nigga. Nothing like you master magician niggas. Smoking mirrors with your game, hella extras to reflect the opposite appearance of a lame. Bitches coming from y'all, I can't rock with those. Tender-footed and rooted in them doctor shows. Soft shoe rituals, minute residuals. Papers on life support, your loots and critical. Something I learned about when running my earned route. And working with turnouts is murdering burnouts. Cause knocking one of you niggas for a scarred bitch. That's knocking one of you niggas for some garbage. I'm heartless regardless, empty with sympathy, but banked up to the max with pimpathy. No remedy for me, I'm like this. My life is vice grip, synced in permanent ink. You can't rewrite this. My blood type is P positive, beautifully deposited with a lot of it. I'm popping this shit, and when I pop it so hard I make a trapping ass bad bitch wanna hoe hard. Can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on it, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga. Come on, pimpin', man, pop that shit. Show these sucker niggas they can't stop that shit. Let these hookers know if they wanna cop that shit. Treat the bag like it's hot, bitch, and drop that shit. Dig. And to you hoes, if you ever took a loss, bitch, show these bitches how to bounce back like a boss bitch. Let them know that the best way to floss, bitch, is reach that paper to some pimpin' hoe and toss it. Can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga. One of them joints right here, man, that you play when you feeling down on your ism, right? Play this shit right here and resuscitate your pimping and get you right back on your mission, right? For you hoes, just that shit you play when you ain't feeling like super hoe today. Play this shit right here and spark up your hoeing and get you right back going, you dig? Dig this. Pimps for real, don't mistake it for fashion. The turf that birthed my reputation for mashing was the track with active, attractive hoes. Professional goers that attract the dough. Like magnets to metal, never settle. We scorching them fag bitches pedal for them portions. My whores win it all. Not the ones on the sideline wishing but didn't ball in the guidelines. My bitches did it all. Down 7 below in the snow for dough. Over 120 in the sun for fun. Okay. Yeah, man, we here. Happy Friday to everybody, you dig?
But getting back to this game that I never left.
That we never wipe your feet off at the door when you step into a pimp's domain. Hit that like button. The thing that look like that there. Yeah. Get my presentation together. You dig? Yeah. Y'all already know my first order of business. I got to hydrate my game before we get to popping this shit, chopping it and popping it. You buffering. I look good on my end. Does anybody else see me buffering, or am I cool? Because on my end, it looks smooth. Oh, I see on Instagram, Pimp done froze up. What is going on? I don't know. Instagram be tripping sometimes with this app. I don't know what's going on, man. Y'all let me know if I'm cool, man. Go Young DJ said your CD scratched. James say buffering. Dimple say everything great. Yeah, it's buffering and not. It's okay now. Yeah, on my end, I look cool. I don't know what's going on. What is going on? Golly. Now it is. Okay. Cool currently, Sexy Slim, the goddess says. You cool in Ohio says Unique. What's going on, Unique? Okay. But on okay. Okay, on Instagram I'm good now too. Okay, cool. All right, let's get to the. But first, cheers to the game. Appreciate y'all for congratulating the pimp. Hold on. Foreplay Freddie P. Good looking with the $5 holla. Respect to the ism. 40K subs. Congratulations. Appreciate that, man. And of course, as always, Magic Chris. Good looking with the $2 holla. Congrats on 40K subscribers. Appreciate y'all, man. You know, I know some of y'all like, man, Freeze, you should have been at 1 million subs by now. And you're right, I should have. And that's why I'm done bullshitting. And that's why you see a pimp on here consistently. Because I'm like, man, I've been on YouTube for 9 years. And it's a lot of people that ain't got what the pimping got. But one thing that they do have that the pimping ain't had on here, at least, is consistency. So they're a lot further ahead than the pimping is. You know, I used to be on Sinful about it. When Sinful would take long hiatuses off of off of YouTube, I would always tell him like, bro, man, if you just stay consistent, man, you'll have 1 million subscribers, bro. And, you know, I should have been taking my own advice at the same time. Really, I should have had 1 million subscribers. Sinful to P should have had 5 million subscribers, you know, before he departed from us. But it is what it is. It's all good nonetheless. And we here and we blessed. And we gonna chop this game, man. Put some more of this love juice in my body. see something. Okay. All right. Shout out to everybody getting money, man. If you out there getting money, shout out to everybody getting money, however you getting it, whether it's on the right side of the law or the left side of the law. As long as you ain't hurting nobody, as long as you ain't violating nobody, and you getting your money, congratulations to you. Whether you working a 9 to 5 or you got a business, street pharmacist, whatever it is that you're doing, entrepreneur, you got your LLC popping. You know what I mean? I hate hearing that LLC shit, man. It's like a broken record. You know what I mean? If, what did I say yesterday was the number one record? Oh, I Don't Want to Be Hoeing at 30 by the 304s. If that's the number one record, then, I got my LLC popping is the number 2 record on the charts. You know what I mean? Oh, man. I got my LLC popping. Who's the artist that sing that? That's damn near everybody. That's everybody's song. I got my LLC popping. But if you're actually making money from your LLC, then congratulations to you, man. Congratulations to everybody getting a bread, getting a chili, getting a chicken. You dig? But this the thing. You got a lot of people in the game that they tamper with the game. They try to take from the game what they like and put back the parts of the game that they don't like, and if you get money, it's all good. But this the thing though. Let's be 100. I ran into this cat not too long ago, right? And I respected and appreciated his honesty. Now, he was a younger cat, and I guess he recognized me as being an elder gentleman to him, or in comparison to him or whatever. And, I'm popping it as somebody, and he's like 50 yards away, 40, 50 yards away, right? And he yelling out his window. He like, yeah, you know what I mean? You don't want no old nigga over there. You want to get with a young fly nigga over here. Wooty, 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 whoop. So, I kind of bit at him a little bit. Damn, somebody say I'm buffering. Okay, I'm good now. I don't know why y'all getting that buffering, because on my end it looked cool. But
getting back to this game that I never left.
Getting back to this game that we never left. Yeah, so he get to popping it like, yeah, you need to get with you a young nigga over here, whoop, right? So we end up crossing paths probably about 10 minutes after that. And, I'm like, damn, man, it's cool that you getting at the broad, but you don't have to say nothing about me to try to make yourself look good. Why don't you tell her about you? If you got it going on so good, tell her about yourself. Don't try to down my pimping to make your pimping look good. And he like, oh, well, whoopty whoopty whoop. I got this going on and I got that going on. Mind you, he got 2 young ladies in the car with him while he's saying all this shit on the track, which those of us that, have been active in the game, we already know, everybody in the game know that kind of look, silly when you riding around on the blade with chicks in the car. And he had 2 of them in the car with him the whole time, right? And, that was another thing too. And like I was talking about the other day about how sometimes pimping biting at you will make you step your game up, right? Now he had a cool attitude, but he wasn't really receiving what I was putting down. He wasn't picking up what I was putting down. But if he was, he would have known that, first of all, you ain't got no business saying nothing about my pimping and you riding in the E-class. Teach their own. And had he had pimped for the E-class, that'd be a whole different conversation and maybe a different level of respect. But hey, man, that's just me. I'm not riding no E-class. I'd rather ride in a 10-year-old big body than a brand new E-class. That's just me though. You know what I mean? To me, a E-class is a woman's car, but that's just me. People may beg to differ, but I don't see an E-class as a pimp's car. Pimping don't belong riding no E-class. You know what I mean? But he's saying all this big old shit from the E-class. Oh, I got this and I got that. I got these cars and I got this jewelry and I done did this and I done did that. And the whole time he's saying all this, I'm like, yeah, but did you pimp for it though? Did you pimp? Every time he would say something else that he had, I'm like, did you pimp for it though? Did you pimp for it though? So then after he was done saying, the list of things that he's attained, he like, y'all crazy in the comment section of Auntie Benz. For real though. But when I asked him, did he pimp for it? He like, oh man, I got 20 hustles. And I was like, well, how did I know that? I figured that was the case. Now, how did I know that? And he like, oh man, I'm pimping, but I'm pimping and gang banging. Then he told me what set he was from and all this shit. And he was like, it's an army that come behind me. I'm like, well, I'm just pimping, man. I'm not gang banging. Much love to the gang bangers, but I'm pimping, man. I'm not from no gang. And if I got an army behind me, it's gonna be an army of hoes. You know what I mean? It's not gonna be an army of bros. You dig? And he was like, because our cars were side by side like this. And he was like, man, I like you, P. Man, I kind of want to get out and shake your hand, man. Whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. So, I got out, shook his hand because I respected his honesty. He didn't try to make it seem like that he pimped for everything that he got. And I just respect people who keep it 100 because it be so many people living in the fantasy world. It be so many people living in denial nowadays. They don't keep it 100. And it's a lot of people in his position that would try to make it seem like everything is AOB, all out the broad. Did he getting everything from the womb, nothing from the spoon, and he ain't getting it like a goon. A lot of cats will try to make it seem like they just straight lace pimping, and it's not like that. So I respected his honesty, if nothing else. You know what I mean? Because he didn't try to make, even though he was wrong in saying that he was pimping and gangbanging, because there's no such thing. You can't do that. Either you're going to be pimping or you're going to be gangbanging, but you can't do both at the same time. That's like saying it's nighttime and daytime at the same time. It's impossible, right? So, but I respected his honesty though. And like I said, you got a lot of cats that try to make it seem like they pimp for it when they didn't. And see, it's a lot of people in the game that claim to be pimping, right? But within this so many individuals that claim to be pimping, there's an even smaller group of individuals that's actually pimping, right? And the smaller group of individuals that's actually pimping, most of us know each other. And we know who is and who ain't, right? And we have a certain type of common courtesy towards one another. We have a certain level of respect for one another and appreciation for one another because, we playing the game accordingly how pimps play it. not people that's just saying they pimping, but we play it like pimps play it, right? And again, like I said, shout out to everybody getting money, but those of us, the small group of us that are actually pimping, you know, we respect each other a certain type of way because we know that not everybody can do what we do, right? It's one thing to get a broad to rock with you, right? Or get several of them to rock with you, you know, but it's a whole nother thing to pimp for it, right? Because you might have 3 or 4 chicks this messing with you, right? And you think you're doing some pimping. But if they don't do what you tell them to do and they only do what they want to do, it's not pimping, right? If you want them, hustle is not a business that you invested hodo in. It's just a hustle that you created on your own. You know, separate, just a hustle that you created on your own, you know, separate of, you know, with the young ladies that's messing with you got going on, right? But if it's a thing like that, that's not pimping, right? If you got a chick that is trapping every day, but she only gives you what she feel like giving you, and then on top of that, she talking to you crazy, calling you out your name, you know what I mean, disrespecting you, talking to you any kind of way, embarrassing you in front of other people and all this type of shit, that's not pimping, right? If you have your chicks on the internet and, you know, they might be at the in call, doing in calls and out calls every day, getting money every day, handing it over to you every day. But when it gets slow, like the internet inevitably does all the time, and you really, really want to send her to the track, but you know you can't. Because if you do try to get her to go, she's going to refuse. And if you try too hard, she's going to blow, right? If you set her on the track, you know what I mean? You could kiss her. You could kiss the hoe goodbye, man. She, you know, you never gonna see her again. That's not pimping, right? If you got her on the track and she's consistently getting down on the track, right? But you want her to go in the strip club or go to the casino or play the internet, but she's telling you that she's not going to do that. The only thing she wants to do is the track. That's not pimping, right? Pimping is when you're the leader and what you say goes. They follow your lead, and it's not so much like a dictatorship. You know, they follow your lead because they want to, not because they're not like they doing what you want them to do because they're scared of you. No, it's because they respect you a certain type of way, right? This is what you call pimping for it, right? Not everybody is pimping for it. And again, it's cool if you're not. But don't come around to pimping, you know, flossing certain things that you just bought or showing stacks of money and trying to make it seem like you pimped for it when you know damn well you didn't, right? And see, what I love about the truth, you know, truth don't like darkness. Truth don't be hanging out in the crevices and, you know, deep, dark corners of the game. You know, it might, you know, so happen to end up there, you know, temporarily. But one thing about the truth, you know, the truth like light. The truth like hanging out in the light. The truth like living in the light. You know, so the truth is always going to come to the light, right? And we've seen a lot of these types of individuals get exposed, man. You know, and like I just mentioned, investments, right? You know, you can still be pimping for it if these ladies is going how you want them to go, when you want them to go, and then you take they hodo and you invest it in different things. You know, you might invest it into a business, or, you know, you might invest it into stocks, you know, but whatever kind of investment that it is, you know, if you invest in 304 though, and this investment is a product of the game, then yeah, you still pimping for it, right? And you know, you and the ladies this down with you and play the role in making all of it happen, you know, all of y'all benefiting from it, right? This is part of what we play the game for, to do bigger and better shit. So yeah, that's still pimping for it, right? But basically my point is, you know, when you're not able to bring greatness out of the ladies that's rocking with you to the point where you can not only live off of the earnings but thrive off the earnings, you know, it's not pimping. If you can't get them to do what you want them to do when you want them to do it, if you can't get them to follow your lead happily because they want to, then, you know, it's not pimping. And that's okay. That's what I want the people that's not pimping for it to understand. It's okay. You know, if you being a man about your shit, pimping still gonna respect you. You know, some pimps might roast you because that's what we do. We talk shit. We roast, you know. But a pimp like me, I'm gonna respect your honesty if nothing else. You know, because that's just part of being a man. A man gonna keep it 100 about his shit. A man ain't gonna try to pretend. You know, that's what the bras do, man. It's enough females that's having identity crisis and trying to hide who they are and mask their identity as something other than what it is. You know, we got enough of them doing that. You know, that a man ain't got no business doing that type of shit. You know. So it's okay, man, if you're not really pimping for it. It's okay, man. You know, it ain't the end of the world. You know, you could call it something else. You know, it's okay to be a hustler. You know, I don't even like using that terminology no more because ever since Mark from Soft White Underbelly heard the term hoe hustler, he been wearing that shit out. But you know, if you a hoe hustler, I don't really, you know, too much care for them type of dudes, you know, because to me that's in the family of con artists. But if you just a hustler, man, and you just getting your money, it's all good, man. You know, as long as you keep it in 100, pimping gonna respect it. You dig? Listen, man, if you ain't wiped your feet off at the door when you stepped into a pimp's domain, please do so now. Hit that like button, man. Be just a second. Hold up. Damn, what the fuck happened? Okay. Instagram, I think y'all can hear me. I know YouTube probably can't hear me because my shit keep buffering. But I'm about to end this shit and see if I can figure out what's going on and come back, man. Okay, now it's not buffering. Hold on, man. This shit is some bullshit. Damn. Okay, maybe what I did, maybe that helped it. Okay, look like we cool, man. Damn. That shit was buffering for a long ass time. Shit. About to fire Cox. Boy, Cox. Cox like an out of pocket bitch right now, man. Cox tripping. Hope better get in pocket. Shit. You know what I mean? Just, you know, spreading the signal all everywhere, acting up. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? being a punk with the signal and shit like that. You know what I mean? Better get in pocket with this game shit. You know? Y'all got to excuse Cox Wi-Fi. You know, I've been mashing on her, man, and sometimes she get to acting up, man. You know, so, you know, Pimping got to check the hoe sometimes, man. Excuse me, you dig? Yeah, but she better stay her ass in line, though. I know that. Because we trying to kick this game, man, and we don't need the out-of-pocket hoe, Cox Wi-Fi, acting up. You know what I mean? Yeah. Okay, we good. I think I done got this broad in line, man. I think Cox is acting right for a pimp now. You hydrate my game one more time. That's why the viewers is down, and you know. Got to transition to Xfinity. Yeah, I might have to, man. If Cox get to acting up too much, man, I might have to fire her ass, man. Go knock the Xfinity broads, you know? We'll see. We're going to give her a chance, man. You know what I mean? Because, you know, sometimes you got to figure out what's wrong with the bitch. You can't just fire the bitch every time. Sometimes you got to figure out what's going on in her head, man. You know what I mean? You know, her connection might be, you know, need to get descrambled or you know, reconfigured or something like that. You know what I mean? You got to go in and figure out what's wrong with the broad before you could go right with the broad. You dig? So I ain't gonna just throw her away. You know, Cox, she been down with me for a minute now. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna just throw the bitch away because she acting up one time. You know what I mean? Even though this ain't the first time she done acted up, you know, but she been cool for a minute though. You know, so I ain't gonna just throw the bitch away, man. We gonna see. We gonna give her a chance, man. We gonna give her a chance. You dig? Yeah. Slim Williams, you stupid. Nah, Slim. See, I think you got a broad named Cox too. You know what I mean? But your Cox is not the same broad that I got. You know what I mean? Pause. You know, the name Cox just don't sound cool. You dig? All right, man. All right. Damn, boy. Wi-Fi was really coming against this game. Yeah, so what I did is cause I got two different signals. I got the 5G Wi-Fi and then I got the regular Wi-Fi. And I'm normally on the 5G and I normally don't have no problems. So on the rare occasion that I have a problem with the 5G, I just go to the regular and it's cool. So that's what I just did and that fixed the problem. So we good. We good. You dig?
But getting back to this game that I never left.
That we never left. You know? Sexy Slim Goddess, you funny. You be blacking out. Your signal be going bad sometimes too, huh? Sexy Slim Goddess. Oh man, that's funny. She say that's my problem, is an anger problem, and like they trigger me, and then and then I black out, and I hate that because I love to serve and meet people. That's what's up. At least you identified that about yourself and you recognize that and can be honest about it. You know, that's dope. You know, because from there you can figure out the solution and it'll be all good. You dig? Yeah, man. But let's get back to this game. You know, That's the thing about the pimping too. This is why I always say for the young ladies in the game that it's just ideal to mess with some pimping. And I know a lot of y'all don't know how to identify the pimping. I'll probably touch on that a little bit in this video, but I'll probably do a whole separate video on, what to look for in some pimping when you a young lady in the game, because, I know a lot of y'all just honestly don't know what to look for. And it's of no fault to you. It's just that it's such a small minority of actual pimping going on that you most likely have never even encountered it or seen it. And if you did see it, you didn't even know what it was, right? So, yeah, but when the pimping got some chicks and he really believes in the game and instills that same belief in them, and then now you got a household of believers, there's firm believers in the game and understand the possibilities of the game, you don't need to do all that other shit, right? But a lot of them dudes that don't be pimping for it, they not doing it for the dough, they doing it for the show. Because again, like I said, I don't know what the hype is. I don't know why everybody want to act like a pimp that's not pimps. But there's like a phenomenon of people right now that have multiple chicks messing with them. I don't know. Maybe it's like a confusion of the poly shit. I see this poly shit is like becoming more and more popular. It's been popular for a little while now, but it's becoming more and more popular to subscribe to this polygamy lifestyle, right? And maybe that's what it is. The dudes this, subscribing to the poly thing, maybe the temptation to act like a pimp is just too great because they got multiple women messing with them and they like trying to push their boundaries. Like, I wonder if I could get them to do this, and I wonder if I can get them to do that. But you can't really get them to do this and do that because you're not the pimping. But you want to act like the pimping. And I have seen that. You know what I mean? As a matter of fact, this reminds me of, a situation where I kind of sort of got knocked by a poly, whatever you want to call it, household situation, whatever. I can't really call it a knocking because, it wasn't, I don't know what to call it, man, but this chick that I had, she ended up going over to one of them poly situations, man. But when she went over there, it wasn't really much of a surprise though, because, when I knocked her, she had previous experience in that type of shit. You know what I mean? She was, this before I had her, she had met a dude at the strip club, was getting lap dances with him and shit. And the dude's wife was there the whole time, right? But the dude was the one getting the lap dances. So then, next thing you know, she ends up going home after the club with this man and his wife, with this trick and his wife, and then she ended up moving in with him and staying with him and kind of like being their, play toy, if you will. She ended up moving in and kind of like being a little play toy in the bedroom and shit. And she loved that. Like when she would talk about that shit, she loved it, right? And, so when she came over with the pimping, as I think back, I think she probably thought that's what it was going to be. She thought it was going to be like her, being a facilitator for the rest of the household. You know what I mean? But we was mashing at this time. I wasn't touching nobody. I wasn't even touching myself. I wasn't touching them. I wasn't doing no touching at this time. You know what I mean? I was real focused and I was mashing. You dig? So, maybe that's what the problem was. She came over. She probably, like I said, she thought she was going to be the facilitator. She thought she was going, oh, you need me to lick this over here. You need me to bend over right here. You need me to touch right here. You need me to do this, do that. She probably thought it was going to be one of them type of situations, but she was disappointed maybe when she came. I don't know. But she ended up going to one of them poly households. But the poly situation that she went to, you know, when you look at their social media, it was poly this, poly that, poly this, poly that. And, you know, beautiful women over there. But I know that at least some of them, probably not all of them, but some of them was, you know, dancers. They was in the club, you know, doing their thing in the club. And so yeah, that's a situation that I know of, like as I get to thinking about it, where it was a poly dude, but he was trying to tamper with the game. You know what I mean? He was trying to reap certain benefits from the game, but, you know, masking it or advertising it as poly. You dig? So yeah, maybe that's what it is too. You know, it's a lot of confusion between poly and pimping. You know, I probably need to do a whole separate video on that because, you know, a lot of people think poly and pimping is the same thing. I don't know. A lot of people think pimping is poly. A lot of people probably think poly is pimping, but, you know, we not poly nothing. We pimping and that's it, man. We not we ain't with all the poly shit, man. You know, straight pimping going on and that's it. Twisted Up, good looking with the $10 holla. Blessings to your P. Still new in the game, but I started holus and dolus. Really pimped for everything I got. And the shit feels good, P. Thanks for the game. Congrats on the 40K, you dig? Twisted Up, I appreciate you, man. Yeah, see, you know what I'm talking about, man. It's just a beautiful feeling, man, when you send them people with your instructions and your game and your guidance, and they take that and they make great things happen with it, and then they come back and hand it off. You know what I mean? It's a beautiful feeling. And then you just build. You just constantly building. And you showing them what they 304 is doing. You know, you showing them the results of, you know, unity and consistency and surrender, right? You showing them the results of them thinking bigger and not getting caught up in little shit like their emotions and jealousy and all this little bullshit. You know, you showing them, you know, what it means to be bigger, and they can see it, right? So that's a beautiful thing, man. I love to hear it. Good stuff. Brother Bill, good looking with the $2 holla. Glory to God for this game. Did 100 burpees. Long live Sinful to P. Hey, dig that, man. That's what's up, Bill. You know, I never was a fan of burpees, man. I used to do them sometimes when I was in the joint, but I never was really a big fan of burpees. But I've seen burpees do wonders, though, man. It was this cat that I knew from Pasadena, and when he first got to the yard, he was huge. He might have been like 400 pounds. He was a very big dude. But, man, he used to do them burpees every day, and he just stayed consistent, and he would do more and more burpees, and the fat just peeled off his ass like a banana. He just was like peeling that shit off every day. And before you know it, he was like, man, he probably got down to like 180 pounds, man. He got real small off them burpees. So I know them burpees definitely work, man. They definitely help you, if nothing else, I know they help you burn fat like crazy. You dig? They help you get shredded. So shout out to Bill and shout out to the burpees, man. Yeah, I never was a big fan of burpees. I know they work though. They not easy neither. You know what I mean? They are not easy. Sepulveda the Prince says, reminds me of the dude with the 3-letter name who say shit like he's some ism but really living a poly life. I'm not sure who you talking about with the 3-letter name, but it's a lot of them dudes, man. Like, it's a lot of that going on. And this is what I'm talking about, man. I don't know what the hype is on trying to act like you pimping. You know, if you're doing the poly thing, that's cool. You know, and even if you got like the situation I just described where you got the poly thing going on. Oh, eloquence is key. You talking about that person. Okay. Yeah, you know, like if you got the poly thing going on and you got some girls, oh damn, y'all done hit with a few different a few different 3-letter names. Okay. But yeah, if you got the poly thing going on, and even if you got your girls like dancing, you know, or you know, OnlyFans, whatever they got going on, man. You know, if it's not pimping, then don't try to like make it look like pimping or don't call it pimping. You know, all the false advertisement just ain't cool, man. Pimp ain't digging the false advertisement, man. Y'all funny in the chat though, cause y'all ain't got no problem busting people out. Y'all ain't got no problem busting people out, man. That's funny. Right, Sepulveda the Prince, they stupid, man. They gunning people down in the chat. Pew, 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 pew. They ain't got no problem gunning people down. They crazy. Oh, man. Ray Gunn, as always, good looking with the $2 holla. Blessings to the chat and Freeze 100. Appreciate you, man. Right, correct vision. Stay in your lane is better for you. I don't know why they have such a problem with that. You know, like the poly thing ain't enough. You know, you're not. I mean, I thought that's what it was about, like having a relationship with multiple partners. You know. That's what I thought the poly thing was about. That's not enough. Like, you got to act like a pimp too. I mean, I don't know. I don't see what all the hype is about. Yeah, you know, cause you know, like the poly thing is a square thing to us in the game, right? You know, it's a square thing, and you know, you can have your people doing, you know, all different kinds of things, you know, and they might be doing all different kinds of things, but just because you have multiple women and you're the only guy in this poly relationship, you know, that don't make it pimping. That don't make it pimping, man. You know, because again, if them people ain't surrendering themselves to the point where, you know, they gonna do whatever you want them to do. But then again, you know, a poly dude, you don't even want your women to do the same things that the pimpin' want his women to do, right? Let alone getting them to do what the pimpin' want his women to do. You know, the poly thing, you can't even get your women to do what the pimpin' want his women to do, and you don't want the same things that the pimpin' want. You just want the money. And again, like I said, if you getting your money, that's cool. But you know, that's how I see that. And like I said, the dude who I guess you could say he knocked me. I don't know. He never gave me no phone call, but he not no pimp neither. So I guess I shouldn't have expected a phone call. But the dude who got the chick from me, that had the poly shit going on. You know, she had been hired at some clubs before I had her. So I'm pretty sure when she went over there, she just resumed that program of working in the clubs. You know what I mean? Because like I said, I'm pretty sure it was some people over there before her that was already in the club doing their thing. So, yeah, you know, but they was screaming poly on social media, right? And so let me get into this too, right? Because, you know, I've seen different poly situations on social media, right? Speaking of poly on social media, you know, I think that they believe that if they scream poly but act like pimping, that's going to keep them out the penitentiary. And I'm here to tell you that it's not. They will send your poly ass straight to the joint. The prosecutor will prosecute your poly ass. You know what I mean? And they will convict your poly ass. And the judge will sentence your poly ass to real prison time, just like they do the pimps. You know what I mean? And you're going to be on the yard with a bunch of other hard leg, funky ass niggas, you know, with your poly ass. So I don't know if they think that that's like their way of trying to outfox the police or something. You know what I mean? They trying to outfox the law. But, man, they don't give a damn about none of that shit. They don't give a damn about your terminology. Oh, you poly. My bad. I thought you was a pimp. I mean, I know you doing the same things that pimps get sent to the penitentiary for, but okay, we going to bag up off you. You poly. We going to leave you alone. We going to go after the pimps. No, they going to take your ass to jail just like they do the pimping, man. They don't give a damn about all that poly shit, man. They going to book your ass, especially if you black, you know. They will book your ass, man. That's not no slick nothing. It ain't nothing slick about that shit, you know, but like I said, it'd be a lot of dudes screaming that shit, and it's unfortunate because they confuse a lot of females, man. You know, you got chicks in the you got a lot of chicks in the game that's young, right? And they don't really have any contrast in their history in the game because they so new to the game, right? And what I mean by that is you got chicks that come into the game, you know, fresh into adulthood, 18, 19 years old, never really had a square relationship. You know, they choose a pimp, get mashed on, and they hear about their friends that they went to high school with, different family members and shit like that, getting married and, you know, having boyfriends or having girlfriends or, you know, just things other than getting pimped on, right? And sometimes when they've been getting mashed on, you know, from the time they was 18, 19, now they, you know, 24, 25, and life might be great. They might have, you know, hold up for a whole lot of stuff and, you know, living good. But, you know, they sitting here looking at their wifeys and, you know, it's a certain type of program under the pimping. It's a certain type of structure under the pimping. And then, you know, they might have a friend or they might befriend somebody on social media, Instagram, whatever, and, you know, they start following somebody that's living the poly lifestyle. And that shit might look good to their ass, you know, and in their mind, it's nothing like pimping and hoeing. It's poly, you know. So they might blow up on a pimp and go over there because the poly thing look real sweet, you know, only to get over there and realize that it's an artificial version of pimping and hoeing. You know what I mean? She done blew up on some real pimping, you know, had some cool wifeys over there because she went over there, you know, to this watered down poly shit, and she thought it was gonna be some square shit, you know, but then she get over there and like I said, it's an artificial version of pimping and hoeing. You know, they going and getting money whether it be on the internet, OnlyFans, strip club, whatever it is. But, you know, these chicks, they talking to him any kind of way. They disrespecting the shit out of him. You know what I mean? Getting violent with him. It'd be all kind of, you know, squares be going through some shit. You know? So just imagine a square and he got like 4 or 5, you know, square women in this poly situation they got going on, right? A real 304 go over to something like that. And when she realizes it's an artificial version of pimping and hoeing and she see what's going on, she like, I was better off where I was at. You know, and sometimes a chick might have to go through something like that just to better appreciate some real pimping, right? And not that artificial shit to try to act like pimping, but it's really just a watered down version. You dig? So y'all stupid. 50 floors up. You been acting up in the chat. He said, Nature Boy, damn. But see, Nature Boy, he like how like how we talked about before, where, you know, you have cats in the game to say they own best 304. You know, if the 304 end up blowing up and it's just me, I'm gonna end up being my own best 304. I'm a better 304 than she could be any day. You know, now from the pimping that sound crazy, right? But Nature Boy, he really was his own best 304. Hey, you know what I mean? Hey, a real 304 could learn some shit from Nature Boy, man, because Nature Boy was hitting licks, man. Hey, Nature Boy was breaking them. Hey, Nature Boy was breaking them people for hundreds of thousands. You know, y'all seen the video where Nature Boy, he had the white boy right there. He was like, how much money you give me? I said, boy, Nature Boy is a fool. He all over the place with it. You know what I mean? But it's unfortunate how he went out, man. Blessings to Nature Boy, though, man, with his confused ass. You know, I don't want to see him in the joint. I know he got kids that I'm sure miss him, even though he was kind of doing some strange things, even with his kids. That boy all over the place, man. You know, but blessings to Nature Boy. May the Most High unscramble his mind and give him some act right. You dig? But yeah, Nature Boy, he was the real life version of being his own best 304. Wait, where's that? Pink Penny official. He's still in jail freeze. Yeah, Nature Boy. What Nature Boy get? What didn't he get, like 30 or 40 years or something? They gave him a gang of time, didn't they? I forget. And I did a video when he went to jail too. I forgot how much time they socked it to him though. He got a boatload of time. I know that. But see, he's a prime example of what I'm talking about. You know, where, you know, he trying to play the role of this, but he was more than just the poly thing. He had like a cult type of thing going on. Oh, life sentence, yeah. Yeah, they gave him life. But, you know, Nature Boy was tripping. He was, you know, talking crazy to the judge. You know, he was just doing the most. He just like, he's the truest definition of a crash out. He crashed out like no other. You dig? So they hit him with life. Yeah. Yeah, I couldn't remember. I just remember I did a video when he got sentenced and I spoke about it. But I couldn't remember exactly how much time he got. I just remember knowing that he most likely ain't gonna never get out. Unless, you know, God be merciful to him for some reason or another. Yeah, I don't see him ever getting out, man. It's unfortunate. Yeah, but Nature Boy was his own best 3-0 photo. I know that. He was breaking on them dudes for hundreds of thousands. Nature Boy Nature Boy to hit some licks, man. Oh man. You know, Nature Boy was a cult leader, a Renegade 304. Man, Nature Boy had all kind of shit going on, you know. Yeah, man, but blessings to that, man. It's unfortunate because he's a gifted individual. He just used his gifts for some weird things, you know. He's a gifted individual, but at the same time, he's a very hurt and confused individual, you know. Correct Vision, you crazy. You said he the baddest 304 on the cell block. He might got a cult going on up in there. You know? He just might. Oh, damn. Okay, Instagram's still rocking past the hour. Is that right? Let me see something, man. Look like IG letting me go. Because I know I've been on longer than that. Oh, shit. Hold on, let me see. Yeah, we've been on longer than an hour. Let me see something. Oh, shit. Okay, Instagram. That's all right. Okay. I didn't know that. Usually IG cut me off. You fumble. Yeah, I dropped my phone. Shout out to Dino. But yeah, nah, I didn't even realize I was still live on Instagram. Dino, I did play running back for a little bit. You know, that wasn't my strong suit though. My position really was free safety. You did. But I played running back a little bit though. Not very much, but I tried my hand at the running back position. I was all right. I wasn't no hell of a running back, but I was cool though. I wasn't doing no fumbling though. I done recovered more fumbles than matter of fact, I ain't never fumbled in no game. I done recovered some fumbles though. But yeah, man. Instagram supports this game. Yeah, you know, see, so normally what happens, right? Because what I've been doing lately is I'll go live simultaneously from Instagram and YouTube. But usually after an hour, Instagram will cut me off. This is the first time I ever seen it where after an hour, I'm still live on IG. You dig? So they letting the pimp rock tonight. You know what I mean? Maybe it's that Friday night shit, man. You know? And see, it's Friday night, man. You know, it's going to be some good shit going on in the game. You know, shout out to the real individuals that's pimping for it. You know what I mean? Because it's the weekend, man. You know, and it's earlier in the year still the early part of the year. Tax season almost over with, but it ain't over with yet. You know, so it's still some good tax money floating around. You know, the tricks is going to, you know, be generous with ladies in the game. And, you know, ladies in the game going to be breaking tricks for their tax money and, you know, reaching it, handing it back to a pimp. You know, it's the circle of life, man. It's just beautiful. You dig? Yeah, man. But, you know, again, shout out to the individuals that's pimping for it, man. You know. And see, I feel bad because this live stream was kind of like, you know, tampered with Cox being out of pocket, you know, with her out of pocket ass, messing up the signal for a pimp and all that type of shit. But listen, we gonna take some calls right now, man. I'm gonna allow y'all to join as soon as I find where my screen is at. Hold on. Where is my... Trying to find my screen to add people. Where is that screen? Oh, wait, I'm tripping. It's right here. Here we go. Okay. Bam. Now. Shit. Okay, there's the pinned comment for those of you. Oh, wait a minute. Let's see. Oh, okay. Hold on. Wait a minute. Oh, so I was wrong. See, last time when I opened it up, I was saying that you needed an iPhone to join, but you don't because I just did it from my Android. So, yeah, with that being said, y'all see the pinned comment, man. If you want to join and you have questions, you're more than welcome to join at this time, man. Just hit that link, follow the steps, and you will be all good. Pimping will add you on, let you ask whatever questions you may have. Debrina Reed says, enough for me in this country ass city. Debrina Reed say, I made $3K today in 5 hours dolo. Congratulations. You know, but as we say in the game, if pimping can't count it, then it don't count. But blessings to you though, you know. Let me hydrate my game one time. Don't be scared to join, man. Go ahead and hit that link if you want to join. IG letting the pimp rock. Okay, that's cool. The Articulation 19 says, Dino TV star, make a YouTube. Yeah, one thing about YouTube, Dino will probably have a little more liberty on YouTube. The only thing is, you know, he might not be able to monetize fully because of the language and things like that. But, you know, YouTube can be a good look. It'll be a different look on YouTube that'll be kind of cool. YouTube a different animal though, man. You know, because it's been relatively easy for me. Okay. Oh damn. Man of Steel, my bad. I couldn't hear you. And I just tried to add you, but I think I missed you. Okay, there we go. Hold on.
Hello.
Yeah, what's going on, man?
What's happening, P?
How you
You already
doing?
know, coming from Detroit.
Dig
Chilling, man.
that. Shout out to the D.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, man. I was hitting you up. I saw that video you put out earlier about the that trust stuff. Man, I was thinking about it. I was like, man, on the real tip, if you can't really trust yourself, shit, you ain't really supposed to. It's hard for you to trust somebody else if you can't trust yourself. You know, if you making mistakes and fucking up, shit, it's gonna be hard for you to trust somebody else. So really, you gotta master yourself, like you was saying in the video.
Yeah. Nah, that's real talk. And
I was just,
you absolutely right about that.
right. I was trying to, right.
Yeah, that's a
Okay, I
big
was
part
trying
of the
to, I
reason
was
why.
going to see how you felt about that.
No, you right, and that's
My
a
bad,
big.
it got the little lag on it, you know. Detroit.
Yeah, it sounds like you outside walking or something
My
like that
bad, dude.
on the move.
Yeah, I'm a hold on. Yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but nah, you
I'll put
you.
a pause on it.
Oh nah, okay, it's all good. Yeah, but nah, you right about that, man. That's a big problem that a lot of people have when it comes to trust as well, is them not being able to trust themselves. And see, that's a big thing, man. It's good that you mentioned that, because I've known certain individuals, man, that ain't shit, and they know they ain't shit, so they expect
Right,
everybody else to be not shit like them. They know that
right,
other people shouldn't trust them, so that's why they don't trust nobody. It's not even so much that you know they gave somebody a chance and trusted them, and then they violated their trust. No, some people was just rotten, man. Some people just
right.
rotten, and they know that nobody should trust them. They won't ever say that to anybody, but they know deep down inside, you shouldn't trust me. So because you shouldn't trust me, I'm not gonna trust you or nobody else. I'm never gonna fully trust anybody else, because I know I ain't shit. There's a lot of people out there like that, but that goes in line with what you're saying about not trusting yourself. You know what I mean? People like that don't trust themselves. So
Right.
yeah,
I had this same problem, but when I realized, I was like, man, I gotta get my shit together. You talking about the habits and stuff, like the gambling? So I ain't never
yeah,
been no smoker, no drinker. I always been in shape, you know. But that
right.
gambling, love of money, man, that shit took control of a man, you know.
Oh
And I
yeah,
was like, man, I can't control that. I don't, you know, it's hard for me to trust somebody else. I can't even, and I don't even be getting high. I'm sober and I'm fucking up, so I can't really trust nobody.
yeah, yeah. Nah, yeah. I know how it go, man. And that gambling, man. You know, man, I done seen some people make a lot of mistakes and ruin good things with people
Right.
because of that gambling. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's good that you can even acknowledge that about yourself, man, because I know people that got a gambling problem, and they know they got a gambling problem, but they be in denial about the shit, and they try to make it seem like it's a good thing, or they'll try to highlight the times when they hit with everybody else, but they don't want to talk about them times when they don't hit, boy, because it get ugly.
Yeah, no. Yeah, you
Man, it
do.
can get
I
ugly.
just,
I done seen it, man. I done been side by side with certain individuals, man. I done seen them blow a whole lot of money. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
I'll try to be, I always try to be the friend that's like, okay, man, you just hit for that 10,000. Give me the 10 and I'm gonna hold it, man. And then, you be like, all right, man,
it
I'm
ain't
gone.
enough.
Just holler at me. I'm gonna have your 10. And then they might have another 10. And they call you in 20
Yeah,
minutes like, freeze, man. Yeah, come back, man. Let me get that. Let me get 2 of that 10 that I gave you. Nah, bro, I'm not coming back, man. You got to come meet me, man. Come outside. Come outside. Nah, bro, just come on, man. Just give me 2.
right.
I don't want the whole 10, bro. Just give me 2.
nah, nigga. Nah, you can't have that, bro.
Nah, right.
We
You're
count
gonna
this
have to
outside the
fight me, man,
casino.
but we gonna fight outside. We ain't fighting inside, you know.
Right. Hey, hell nah. But I
For real.
found that I was like, now that I started boxing. And that's
Uh-huh.
a lot of like you gotta have some self discipline, self awareness, because in that ring, ain't no excuses, ain't none of that bullshit. You gotta be able to trust yourself. In order to trust yourself, you gotta be the best you can be. And I know you
Right.
understand that being in that P game and stuff. You gotta be the best. You gotta be the best you can be in the street. You know what I'm saying? In
Oh,
order
for
to
sure.
maintain and have the best results. You know.
Indeed. Okay, we got
That's
Della.
that's how I feel about the situation. I totally agree with everything you were saying.
Oh, for sure. What's going on, bro? Is it Delamente?
Delamente,
Okay. What's going on, man?
how
Where
you
you
doing,
from?
brother? I'm
I'm
good.
good,
I'm
man.
good. Greetings, greetings. So my question was, and I kind of posted it in the chat. So I
Okay.
wanted to know how do you know if like she could if she's gonna acquiesce to your I guess game or pimping if she's playing games or whatever the case may be, or she is willing to go to acquiesce to the ism.
Well, you gotta take time to understand the lady first. You know what I mean? Because in order to get
Gotcha.
her to acquiesce, you gotta understand who you dealing with and what you dealing with. And a lot of times, cats will try to get cooperation from somebody, and they don't even understand the somebody who they trying to get cooperation from. So the better you understand her and take the time to learn her, from there you'll
Hmm.
determine, one, whether or not you really want her to acquiesce, and then two, how to get her to, if you decide that you want to. But first you got to understand who you dealing with and what you dealing with, and that goes with anything, not just the game, but just whatever you may have going on with a young lady. You want her to, you want to understand her so that you know what you're dealing with.
Hmm.
A lot of times you got cats that will try to get somebody involved, and they didn't take the time to learn that somebody, and they end up being in a world of trouble because they didn't know what they was dealing with. So uh I say the key first is to understand the chick and go from there.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Greatly appreciated, brother.
Oh, for sure, no problem, man.
Have a good one.
You too.
All right.
All right. What's going on, man?
Not much, man. I just want to, say, thanks for what y'all be doing, man. What I'm saying, get that out the way first. And, I first heard about you from Sinful, rest in peace.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And back then, he used to be heavy on it, you wasn't really on it. Like you would, chime in
Right,
here
right.
and there. I would hear from the stories. Uh, but you feel me? Like, I just got a question for you because, like, I'm not a pimp, you know what I'm saying, but I respect the mentality, you feel me, like as far as like it's all about the win, like you trying to get these W's, you know what I mean, just winning
Right,
in life,
right.
winning in everything that you do, you know what I mean, and so right now, I'm a businessman, right, so uh, I just want to like hear like a perspective, like because I know I can apply like as far as just the mentality, you know what I'm saying, as far as the pimping mentality to that, you know what I mean, to where getting the best out of the situation. So as far as when dealing with a business, you know what I'm saying, because I have to deal with a lot of like different people, you know what I mean. So
Right.
since, since I gotta hire people and all this stuff, you know what I mean, deal with them, learn their personalities, like when you was dealing with people in like say with hoes or whatever, and you was giving them chances, figuring out their personality, how long did it take you to be like, oh, I'm cool on this person, or I'm a rock with this person? Because they might not show that potential at first, but on, you know what I'm saying, like, yeah, I don't know if I should just be building them up, you know what I'm saying, continue to invest my energy, my time, my effort, you stuff like that. So I just want some input.
Right. Well, the beautiful thing for you, unlike with this lifestyle, is that, see, the difference between this lifestyle versus anything else is, it's business as well as personal. But for you, it's not so personal, it's more so business, right? So with that being the case, there's a lot less requirements, and it's much easier to vet somebody because it's not so personal, right? So and then the beautiful thing about these times that we in now, it's I would say that it's easier to research somebody and get somebody's background and understand how qualified they may be for the position that you want them to fill, and how reliable they may be. I don't know what type of business it is, but certain businesses, individuals have reviews, and you can go back and study the reviews of an individual and see how reliable they were, how professional they were or not, so on and so forth. You know what I mean? But I would say that because it's your business and you know what you want and you know what you don't want. So from there, I would sit down and take the time to come up with a certain criteria, and from there, figure out the questions that you want to ask somebody to be able to check their temperature and see if this is what you want to deal with or not. But it's like I said, it'll be much easier for you than somebody like me because it's not personal. You're not getting into a personal relationship with these people.
Like, I gotta add a little bit more to it because
Okay.
To a degree, you feel me? It is a personal level because a lot of these people, what I'm saying, I gotta rent Airbnbs and I've been buying property, you know what I mean? So I'll be flying them out, you know what I'm saying? Like, cause it's an opportunity. You feel me? I won't work no regular job because at a regular job I don't really got the opportunity to become rich. You know what I mean? Especially coming from the background I come from, like, you know what I mean? Cali, being in jail all the time, this and that and the other.
Right.
And you know what I'm saying? I deal with like just
Now I
certain
kind of
individuals.
understand where you're going now that you mentioned the Airbnb thing, right? So this is one thing with me, right? And I put out a video earlier today about trust, right? And I should have threw this in there, but when it comes to doing business with people, I say that the best type of people to deal with are the ones who don't need you, right? And I say that because the people who don't need you, they're dealing with you because they want to. See, a lot of times when people need you, that's when, individuals get desperate and drastic and do underhanded shit and can't be trusted, so on and so forth. But if you're dealing with somebody who doesn't need you, right, they good on their own just like you good on your own. But y'all coming together to do something better together than you can individually. That's the kind of people that you want to deal with, right? So that's something that I would pay attention to as well. Like, what does this person have going on now? What have they had going on in the past, right? And see, the need thing, don't get caught up in the situation that they're in. Pay more attention to the mentality, how they think, how they speak, what their language is, right? Because that'll give you a good idea about their intentions, because you can have somebody in a not so great position that still don't need you, right? Because that neediness, like I said, it's a mentality. So that's something that I would pay attention to, whether or not this individual feels like they need me or they need this, so. Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. You feel me? That actually, you mentioned that, what I mean, just deal with people that don't need me because I ain't gonna lie, it do be a lot of people that need me, that's for sure. But
yeah,
you know what I
and
mean?
I know how it can be. You want to give certain people the benefit of the doubt, if you know they seem like they have a cool personality and they seem, you know, professional, and you know they seem like they serious about what they say they want to do, and so on and so forth. But you know, a lot of times we overlook that small detail of, you know, how much does this person feel like they need me or need this, right? And
Yeah,
you know, like in the video earlier when I was speaking about trust, I was saying one of the things that I use to gauge whether or not somebody is trustworthy is their ability to withstand pressure, right? That'll give you a great indication of whether or not somebody feels like they need you. Because
yeah,
again, you can have somebody in a pressure type situation in their personal life, and they won't allow that to interfere with the business that they got going on with you. One, because they value the business they got going on with you, but then two, they don't have the mentality like, I need you. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
you know, and that pressure thing is big, man. And I speak about that a lot because in the game, you know, in this lifestyle, we go through certain types of pressures all the time. And me, I just, that's why Sinful and myself was so tight, because of the way that we handle pressure, right? Now, me, I'm the type of person, I could be losing everything. You know what I mean? Repo man coming to get my car, I'm getting evicted. I don't know where I'm gonna live. I ain't got no money right now, but I'm not gonna worry. I'm not gonna sit and cry about the shit like, damn, I done lost everything, man. What I'm gonna do? Oh man,
yeah,
damn, I can't believe it, man. Shit, why me? Why me? That ain't me. Um, I'm the type of individual. I'm gonna maintain my composure, and I'm gonna develop a plan, and I'm gonna execute the plan, and you know, I already know it's a temporary situation, right? So that's why me, I never worry under pressure. And if I involve myself with somebody, like if I end up knocking a female, um, I'm not gonna have the mindset like I need her, right? Because if I come to her like that, I'm gonna compromise myself, my dignity, and you know, so on and so forth. So, on that same token, like I said, with the people that you getting involved with, you know, if possible, and maybe when you interview, and I don't know if you do like a traditional type of interview, or if you just ask certain questions to try to gauge who you dealing with, but you know, just try to
yeah,
figure out how they handle pressure, and if you can learn about past experiences that they've had where they were under pressure and how they handled it. You know.
yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah, that's smooth. I'm gonna definitely incorporate that into the situation as far as just interviewing, you know what I mean, people and getting their mentality because usually I just come like straightforward, like you know what I mean, because I travel the world, so I be in some I be in some pretty dope positions, you know what I mean, some pretty dope places, so I do get the opportunity to meet a lot of people with like different mindsets, and you know I be figuring everybody for most part want the same thing as far as like happiness, feel valuable, blah 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 blah. But you know, like so I be gauging on that, but I'm gonna definitely add that pressure. You know how they deal with pressure. You know, I know that can definitely help out. You know what I mean? In the part where you said deal with somebody that don't need you, I'm gonna definitely
Yeah, for sure.
incorporate that in. But man, that's all I had to say. I don't want to take up too much time, man. You know, get the next person on here.
Magic, it's all good, man. I appreciate you tapping in, and I appreciate your questions, man. That was some good stuff.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Appreciate your time too, man.
No problem, man. Later. Yeah, good game, good game. That was a good one right there. Alexander Turner, you want to see some roasting going on? Nah, I think I'll save that for another day, man. And see, like how the brother who just got off Magic, you know, he mentioned how he be in dope positions and he travels the world, and you know, it sounds to me like he got like an abundance mindset, right? And when things are going your way and everything is good, you know, you just kind of like a lot of us kind of naturally just want things to be simple, and we want the process for things to be simple, right? But what you got to keep in mind for somebody like him is that you got a lot to lose, right? Now, you may be the type of person like I described myself to be, where when you end up in a pressure situation and you lose everything, you maintain your composure, you put your head down and you just grind, right? But at the same time, if you worked hard to get where you are, which I'm sure you did, you know, you got to value that a certain type of way, and you got to guard that. You got to protect that. Like your success, you got to treat that like your baby. You know, you're not going to let anybody babysit your child, you know. So on the same token, you got to treat your success like that. You're not just going to let your offspring or your product, you know, what you created, you're not going to just leave that in the care of any and everybody, right? So you definitely got to figure out how people are trustworthy or not. You dig? But yeah, man, go ahead and call in, man, if you're going to call in. Articulation 19, you crazy. Nah, man. Bro ain't going to the pen. The screen looks zoomed in. Yeah, because you know on Instagram, so the reason why the screen looked the way it do on Instagram is because it's vertical, right? On YouTube, the screen is horizontal. So Instagram isn't showing you the full screen, unfortunately, right? And it ain't really much I can do about that. So, but you know, if you don't, if you want to, you know, get the full dose of everything, you know, come on over to the YouTube and you see the same thing. You just get a better view, and when people call in and join the chat, you can actually see the full screen. You're not looking at a sliver of it like Instagram has you doing. You dig? Because that's the thing for the people on Instagram, you know, when I have somebody join the live, they're not joining Instagram live. They're joining me on this app that I'm going live from. I'm going live on Instagram and YouTube from the same app, which is Ecamm Live, right? And this app allows me to go live from both at the same time. I could even go live from Facebook and probably whatever other app allows you to go live. You know, I can go live from all of them at the same time. But because it's like that, and I'm not going live directly from Instagram, when somebody join the live, Instagram don't split the screen up like it would if it was directly on IG. You know what I mean? So that's what that is. Yeah, man, I'm gonna give y'all a few more minutes, man, for somebody to join the chat if you want to join. But if not, you know, we're gonna end up wrapping this thing on up. In the meantime, if you ain't wiped your feet off at the door when you stepped into a pimp's domain, please do so now. Hit that like button, the thing that looked like that there. And I'ma hydrate my game while we see if anybody got the nerve to join. You dig? Yeah, and ladies, don't be scared, you know. Ladies is more than welcome to join the chat as well. Just hit that pin comment, follow the prompts, and you'll be here. You dig? Okay, here we go. What's up with it?
What's up, P? Hey, I got a quick question for you though. You feel me?
For sure.
First off, rest in peace, and for the P. That's how I found you out. You feel me? But
Cool.
I do got a question. So what would you if is it a topic or no? I can ask anything.
Go ahead. You ask anything.
All right, bet on a spectrum platform. But so if okay, so boom. So what would you call the nigga that's he just really like he with the little hoes, he fucking with the hoes. He having a bitch. They go out to eat. She paying for it, and he just really getting money out the bitch. What would you call that?
Uh, I wouldn't really know what to call it. As far
Wait,
as the
wait.
title goes.
Let me pause you. Like he just, but he telling her like you feel me like this like this ain't nothing serious. I just want you for this. Like he letting it be known. Like he just like yeah, just dogging her though. What would that be called if it's called something?
Uh, Sound like a sugar baby, sugar mama situation, kinda. I don't know if
Mm.
that's exactly what it is, but that's kind of what it sound like. Sound like sugar baby, sugar mama. She just
So
being a
you
sugar mama.
You want to qualify that as no player shit though? Qualify that as
Uh,
if he letting it be known, he letting it be known off rip like he putting you feel me? He fucking her. He letting it be known like yeah, you gonna have to pay for this.
you gonna have to pay for this. Now that sound more like a gigolo. You know what I mean?
Okay,
That sound like somebody who getting their Deuce Bigelow on. But
okay, but okay. Oh, go ahead.
nah,
Finish.
nah. Go ahead. I'm listening.
I got one more question. I'm gonna let somebody else come in. So what would you qualify as a player though? Like, what's your definition as a player?
Uh, you know, I guess what you described first. It could be a player thing. Uh, if she's like fully cooperating with that, if she ain't wrestling with it or whatever, but a player ain't gonna deal with no wrestling anyway. Uh,
Mm,
but yeah, I guess you could say that's some player shit. Like he's playing on her to get what he wants from her. So
right.
yeah, I guess you could say that's some player stuff. But you know, a player is an individual who he might have multiple ladies and he's utilizing these different ladies for whatever they good for.
Mm,
But he's playing on them. So a player might not necessarily be the most honest individual. He doesn't necessarily have to be. So yeah, a player might have like a little con in his mix, but to each their own. So
all right. That's for sure. Hey, appreciate that. Hey, once again, rest in peace and for the P. I'm out, man.
yes, indeed, appreciate you. KK, go ahead and call back if you still there. I should have answered the call, but I was tied up. Excuse my pimping. But yeah, go ahead and call back if you want to call back. Oh, that's you, correct vision. Okay, I didn't realize that was you. Yeah, man, go ahead and call back in. Yeah. But another thing too, a lot of people, and see that's what the original topic kind of has to do with. A lot of people getting caught up in titles and things like that. Just be a man and do what it is that you do. But don't put the incorrect title on what it is that you're doing. Like, for a lot of people, pimping is the incorrect title for what they doing. So that's what I was talking about. But, what the young man who was just on was talking about, I guess he trying to figure out if he's a player or not. But as long as you being a man at the end of the day, man, that's really all that matters, because, a lot of people are bankrupt in the manhood department. So just be a man about it. That's all. What's up with it? Oh, shit. Hey, what's going on? You done
Hey,
froze
what's
up.
going on, Freeze?
You
How you feeling tonight?
I'm good. Your screen is frozen though. Or it's not frozen, it's like
Oh, okay.
it's kind of like glitching a little bit. Okay, there you go. We can see you now. What's going on?
Oh, okay. Shoot, not too much. Just out here about to hit this carpet. Just pulled
I
up,
see
been
you looking
listening to
real
you.
snazzy
Shout
and
out to
jazzy around there,
Freeze.
you dig?
Absolutely, absolutely. Hey, I
Uh-huh.
just wanted to call in. I'm still having a dilemma.
Oh, okay.
I'm out here renegading by default.
Well, you can't really renegade
And
by default.
I can't find no
Renegading is a
pimping.
mentality. So as long as you don't have the mentality of a renegade, I wouldn't classify
Mm.
you as renegade. I would call you a free agent. You did.
Oh, a free agent. Okay, that
Yeah.
sounds better. Thank you.
Right. Yeah. You
But
didn't want
I'm
to
out
call
here.
yourself a renegade.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, it is what it is. Either you got some folks or you don't,
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm just, I'm doing my thing. But I mean, I got the heart of a true 304. I do need some folks in my life. I'm in the middle of the map, and it ain't hardly nothing popping.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I just wanted to get some, a little bit more advice from you. Like, I mean, I like to meet people organically. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I ain't outside in the daytime with a flashlight looking for no folks.
Right.
I mean, I'm stuck here. I've been in the game for a few years. I'm an old bitch, so it's like,
It's all good though. You know, um, you might have to move around. And I know you have before, but uh,
right,
but then too, what's real and what's not, and by you being a grown woman, you ain't gonna fall for what a lot of these little girls be falling for. So, you know, when you even if you might be on social media rubbing elbows with certain gentlemen, you know, uh, you should know what you want and what you don't want. What it's gonna take for an individual to get you to give them your all and give them your best and be your best to them. Because it's gonna take a certain type of energy for somebody to provoke that in you, right? And again, if you just make it clear cut, what it's gonna take for somebody to get that from you, then it shouldn't really be too hard, because we come from a different generation, so uh, a lot of stuff that people will overlook in a person, we know how to identify that, and get down to the bottom line, get down to somebody's intentions, whether it's online or face to face or whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? Like me, I have my ways of vetting somebody online. And most of the time, most people don't make the cut. They don't.
Mhm.
They don't make it through all the red tape that I got, and it's not a whole lot of red tape. It's just some thick red tape. You know what I mean? It ain't a whole lot of layers of it. It's just each
Right.
layer is kind of thick. You know, and everybody don't have what it take to cut through them layers. You know, so and
Mhm.
you got to use past experiences, not just in the game, but just relationships that you've had, period, because at the end of the day you still a woman and you still want to be with a man. It's just a certain type of man. So you just gotta use your past
It's a
experiences.
certain type of man. You right.
Yeah. So
Right. Right. That's what's up. And I accept the free agent.
yeah, you a
Look,
free
you just
agent, you
said
ain't no renegade.
don't
You
get
know,
so hooked
that's
up on titles. Yeah, I accept the free agent title, you know.
yeah, that's all
But
it is. It's
yeah,
temporary. It's
but
you don't
thank
have a
you.
mindset. See, like I said, a renegade is a mindset. That's a certain type of way of thinking, a certain type of belief system. A renegade don't want what you want.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
yeah, you just a free agent. That's all.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I appreciate your time, Freeze, and peace and love to the chat. Peace and blessings, and rest in peace and for the P.
Yes, indeed. All right, Sylvia.
Y'all have a
Appreciate you
good
joining.
Friday.
Yes, indeed. All right.
Later.
Later. Yeah, I like that. You know what I mean? Sylvia, good peoples. Reading these comments. Yeah, I see people. Everybody got their different opinions, but one thing I will say is that again, me, I'm the type of person I appreciate people above things and all things, man. And good people is good people, right? And you know, for some people who've been through a lot and have lived a lot and have a lot of experience, a good thing is, you know, those things tend to make certain individuals better. Especially like you see her, she a grown ass woman. She got good energy. She's smiling. You know what I mean? She looking good, taking care of herself. A lot of people can't say that for themselves. Hold that thought. What's up with it?
What's happening, Freeze? I got a question, man. I'm a truck driver. I got a question. Since you're the pimping, it's about like a young lady. So, like, basically, I don't know if I should still deal with this individual. So, I found this young lady. I try to bring her into my world. I got her into the whole truck driving thing, whatever. Long
Mm-hmm.
story short, I took her into school. She fucked that off. Then like I've been like giving her all the cheat codes and everything to like get her life going, but she been like fucking it off. Long story short, um, basically I let her go. Now she's trying to like scratch and claw her way back into my life.
Right.
But I'm like, should I even like let her come back in? Like it's like pretty much you showed that I've been listening to y'all for a while. Like, should I even let you like back into the sphere? Like, is it like if I seen how you was, is it even worth going back to that? Cause like I do got feelings involved, but it's like, should I even do that? Come from the pimping.
Well, as I'm sure you've heard Sinful say before, and like we often say in the game, how you start is how you finish.
You're right.
So when you met her, what was going on with her up until her coming into your life? What did she have going on?
I'm glad you said that. Man, she ain't. See, I think you already answered the question, man. She ain't really have shit going on. Like,
Now,
basically,
how
she
did
told
I
me,
know that?
man, yeah, she was telling me I'm like the best thing ever happened to her. I was like, damn, bitch, like, I
How
feel
old is
like,
she?
man, she like 27, I'm 24.
Okay. And how long you been dealing with her?
Man, I've been dealing with her since like 6 months. Then like
Okay.
we split like back in December. Then like a couple weeks ago, she just like been blowing me up, trying to get back at me. I let her bump her head. Now she, seeing, yeah, now she's trying to get back at me. But I'm like, man, I
She
got
got
feelings
kids?
involved. Trying to be looking like a weenie.
Right. Nah, I mean, you wouldn't look like a weenie as long as you standing on your manhood. But does she have kids?
She got one, man. She got one, but uh, the kid ain't with her.
Right. And see
Yeah,
and I'm pretty sure it's been like that during the whole duration you've known her.
yeah. She was
Yeah, see,
smooth.
that is always to me a telltale sign. Like in the game, right? You have a lot of cats that'll knock a chick and they'll be like, oh man, yeah, she got 3 kids, but she ain't got her kids with her. They stay with her family, or her grandma got the kids, so I could go pimp and I could do this and I could do that. I could have my way with her.
Have
But
you seen me smooth?
what they don't understand is, there's a certain type of nature about somebody who doesn't have their kids, and not only don't have them because shit happens. And sometimes you got good parents that'll just go through a bad situation, lose their kids, or not even necessarily lose them. They might leave, let family take care of them temporarily or something like that. But there's a difference between that and somebody who don't have their kids and is not fighting to put their kids back into their life. So if you have a chick that has a kid and she meets you and you're giving her the opportunity to build with
Like a
you,
motherfucker.
so now she has you as a support system, right? And then uh it's not a thing where you just trying to take care of her. You're trying to empower her by
Opportunity,
putting her through
some bigger shit.
school. Yeah, exactly. You
I ain't
put her
big
through school,
but
so she can go fish for herself, so to speak, right? And
yeah.
if you're being blessed with this opportunity and you have a child that you birthed, see, it's just it's a different, it, like how people say it hits different. To me, it hits different when it's a woman, right? Because you carried this child for 9 months, pushed this child out your body, and this child came out of your body, right? You grew this child inside of you and then birthed this child, right? So for somebody like that to be blessed with the opportunity that you gave her, and don't make good on that opportunity, that tells me everything I need to know about somebody like that, right? See, like I said, in the game, cats be happy when they knock a chick that has kids but doesn't have them in their possession. But me myself, if I was to have a chick with kids, I would prefer a chick that has her kids and takes care of her kids, because that tells me a lot about what type of woman she is. If she's not just a birth canal, but a real mama. You know what I mean? If she's a real mother, then that means she's responsible. That means she's caring, considerate. You know what I mean? Willing to make sacrifices, because when you got kids, you're gonna have to be the type of individual that's willing to make sacrifices. But when you don't have your kids in your possession, see, that's a sacrifice. You know, buckling down and going to school. She might not be the type to like going to school, but for the sake of my child, I'm gonna handle this business. For the sake of my child, and to make good on the opportunity that he's blessing me with, I'm gonna handle my business. But to front on that and squander that opportunity, to me, that tells me everything I need to know about, uh, you know, not wanting to deal with it. And then, like you said, now she's trying to, fight her way back into your life. But what is she coming with? You know what I mean? Like, you could, cause what it sounds like, you probably like her company. She probably a cool chick to hang out with, have fun with, whatever the case, right? But, you a young man. Do you have kids?
Nah.
Right. You 24 years old, no kids, no felonies?
Nah.
Oh man, you got the world is yours, man. The world is your oyster, man. Like you ain't got no business dealing with nobody like that. You know what I mean? See, this the thing, right? Like, not saying that you shouldn't deal with a woman that has kids, right? Me, 24 years old, no kids, I'm not dealing with no chick with kids, right? That's just me. But if I was to deal with a chick with kids at 24 years old, no kids, no felonies, young black man, having money, handling my business, the criteria is going to be that much more of a challenge for you because you have kids, right? Because this is a whole different level of responsibility that you want to involve me in by getting me involved in your life. So you're going to really have to show and prove to make sure that it's worth my while, right? Because, if you listen to a lot of these dating coaches and all these different people, they'll tell you, oh, man, don't mess with no girl that got kids, man. You 24, no kids, man, you ain't got no bit. But, I'm a realist, right? And I know that there are some women out there that just might be worth your while to mess with that have kids. You know what I mean? Because she might have kids, but she might be a very considerate woman. She might be the type to cater to her man, satisfy certain needs for you without you even before you can even say, hey, baby, can you do this? She already doing it. You know what I mean? She might be a resourceful individual, even though she got kids. It's just so many good characteristics that can outweigh the fact that somebody has a kid, right? So I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that you just shouldn't deal with chicks that have kids. You know what I mean? Me, most likely I wouldn't, but you never know. Somebody might, strike your fancy, like obviously she did. But like I said, how you start is how you finish. So just like I was telling the other young man who was just on, the best kind of people to deal with are the ones who don't need you. This chick needs you, right? That's why she's coming back trying to scratch and claw her way, as you say, back into your life, because she needs you, right? It's not only because she wants you. It's not like she got her shit together, you know what I mean? And she realizes that she messed up. She had a good man. So, I got my options. It's a lot of other good men out here trying to get with me, but I want him. I got my shit together. I got my options, but I want him. It ain't that kind of situation. You know what I mean? This is a chick that don't have nothing going on. And, I don't know if you know her past history, but ain't no telling how many other good opportunities she done messed off. She probably don't get along with her family good. I pay attention to all that kind of stuff.
Nail on the head like a mother. You hitting the motherfucking nail on the head, man.
Right. Because usually like they say, where there's smoke, there's fire. You know what I mean? So if she got a kid that she don't take care of, ain't trying to fight to get back in that kid's life, and, ain't got stuff going on, and then when you give her an opportunity to have something going on, she blows it. Hey, man, certain people belong at the bottom. Certain people just supposed to be there. No matter what you may see in that individual, if they don't see that in themselves, then they supposed to be at the bottom. She's where she belongs. You know what I mean?
I'm trying to get this bitch 1,000 Martin Luther King speeches. She still like she act like she hear me.
It ain't. You're wasting your breath.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're wasting your breath, man.
Yeah. But I appreciate that, man. I
And
be
then
driving
too,
these trucks.
I don't know if you got other action going on, but it sounds like you don't, because you considering this chick You know, so just go get active, man, and go
Right.
get in somebody else's face, man. Like I remember it's a certain P partner of mine, right? He had lost his chick, or really the chick lost him, but he felt like he lost her. And we was sitting down eating one day, and I was telling him, I'm like, man, you keep on talking about this chick because you ain't got nobody else to get her off your mind. The moment you go knock somebody new, you ain't even gonna be thinking about or talking about this chick no more. And lo and behold, that's what happened, man. So I say all that to say, you know, as soon as you go get in somebody else's face and develop and build with somebody else, you won't even be thinking about this chick no more, man. But you know, use her as a lesson. Use that experience with her as a lesson, man. You ain't got no business messing with nobody like that, man. Nobody that don't have nothing going on, ain't trying to have nothing going on. You gonna have to force her to try to have something going on. You know what I mean? You don't want to have nobody in your life that it's a wrestling match to try to, you know, get them to be responsible. You want somebody that's already responsible by nature. You dig?
I feel it, man. Shit, I appreciate you though.
Oh, for
But
sure,
yeah, man.
indeed, man. Appreciate you
But
hitting
yeah,
the
right, man. I've
line.
been listening to you on the road, man. I appreciate you though.
All right,
Good
for
looking.
sure, indeed. All right.
Already.
Yeah. What's up with it, man?
Hey, what's up with it, Freeze?
What's going on? How you feeling?
Good, man. My bad about the airplanes. I'm in this Inglewood, California right now, but
Oh, okay, for
found
sure.
out found out about your channel through, Philip Brandon, RP to
Indeed.
him. And I wanted to ask you, man, if you can kind of elaborate a little bit about like the drag game or how, how bitches kind of go about, getting a trap that way.
You said the drag game?
Yeah.
Like running drag?
Yeah.
Uh, you know, that's a that's a loaded thing, man. You know, it's a lot of it's a lot involved in that a lot of people that's in tune right now, tuned in, probably don't, you know, need to hear or deserve to hear. You dig?
Gotcha,
So
gotcha, gotcha.
yeah, yeah.
Well, if you could say what you can say without saying too much.
Well, you know, the drag, you know, you got chicks that might not necessarily consider themselves 304s that run that kind of game on marks, if you will. Uh, but you have some that are better than others at that, you know. But you know, it's a slippery slope with that, man. Like I said, it's a lot involved in that, man, because you know a lot of chicks try to play that hand, and you know they overplay that hand and get themselves involved and get in too deep, and you know before you know it, they in a world of shit. So you know, like I said, it's a lot. You know, that's a deep conversation right there that we ain't gonna have right here right now. You did.
Gotcha. All right, no worries, no worries.
It's all good though. But I appreciate you tapping in and asking the question though.
Yeah, appreciate you taking my call, man. Love.
Oh, for sure, love. Yeah, man. Yeah, and then you know one thing I will say, man, is you know that's one thing that the internet does is it kind of spoils a lot of us, you know. But what I will say about that question, and you know other questions that may be similar to that one, you know, a lot of times you can figure certain things out for yourself if you're so inclined. If it's really meant for you to know, you know, you'll figure it out. But you know, uh, a lot of people be afraid of trial and error, man. And you know, a lot, again, like I've said before, a lot of the people that you admire, a lot of the people that you want to get game from and have gotten game from, you know, acquired that game through trial and error. You dig? So don't be scared to get out there and trip and fall and dust yourself off, get up and keep pushing. Don't be scared to bump your head. You know, don't be scared to go through it to get to it. Because I definitely went through it to get to it. For sure, for sure. And you appreciate the things that you earn a lot better than the things that are given to you. Right? I know I definitely do. I appreciate the things that I've had to earn much more than anything that's ever been given to me. So don't be afraid to get out there and earn it, man. CRF Cat Daddy on Instagram says, what if she keeps running to you for all her problems, but caters to you to the fullest? Hold on. I was reading these other comments. Running to you for all her problems, but caters to you to the fullest. It sounds like, you know, she knows how to cater to your ego more so than anything, right? In order to have her way with you. It sounds like you keep being the solution when she runs to you with all her problems. You keep being the solution to all her problems, and the only price that she has to pay is to cater to you. You know? But listen to what you said. She keep running to you with all her problems. She's not running to you with any solutions of her own to her own problems, and she's not trying to be a solution to you in any problems that you may have. And, you know, yeah, I'm not going to deal with somebody that only runs to me with all their problems, but they catering to me. I could get somebody to cater to me that ain't running to me with a bunch of problems. Cool on that. Does it cost more when you teach her versus cheaper to keep her? CRF Cat Daddy on Instagram asks, does it cost more when you teach her versus cheaper to keep her? Yeah, man, it just sounds like, you know, that whoever it is that you talking about, man, sound like a bunch of problems. I wouldn't be trying to teach her anything. I wouldn't be trying to keep her. I just wouldn't be involved with nobody like that. But yeah, man, we're going to go ahead and wrap this thing on up. Pimp done ran out of love, man. No more love. Where's the love? I feel like Jay-Z. Where's the love? But yeah, we're going to go ahead and wrap this one up, man. It's turned out to be good, even though we had some technical difficulties early on. You know, it wasn't bad. But we're going to wrap this thing on up, man. Oh, wait, before we go. I didn't shout out my brother. Tyler, as always, good looking with the $2 holla. But yeah, man, I appreciate y'all for tuning in and tapping in with a pimp. I appreciate you sharing this video. I appreciate all the comments, questions, input, jokes, feedback, all that good stuff. I appreciate you for subscribing to the YouTube channel. I appreciate you for hitting the bell when you subscribe. Hold on. Before we go. Dag in Horning. Good looking with the $27.99 Canadian dollar holla. You dig? Appreciate you. Coming through with the Canadian currency. And with that said, I appreciate all the super chats, the cash apps, the PayPals, all that good stuff. I appreciate your support in every which way that you comes with it, man. Y'all already know who it is and what it is. Freeze is it. If you out in traffic moving around, please do so in a safe fashion. And I ain't got no more love, but the love is right here, you dig? But as always, long live the incomparable Sinful to P. We out.